Hi, Richard Vic Coughlin, 616. How are you? I go away for less than a week, and I told you I was going away, and I said, could you please look after the place? I'll get back, and what happens? Everything's going mental. Why? Because Thunderfoot made another video to do with Muslims and Islam, and apparently everyone's got it to say. Well, I've been watching it, and I've had people say, when are you going to comment? When are you going to comment? Well, I'm going to do it now. Okay, good. Now, first of all, Thunderfoot. Just because you don't care whether something's a fallacy, whether you make a correlation-causation fallacy argument, which is what you did, just because you don't care whether it's a fallacy, just because you think you're right, doesn't make it a good argument. It's like me saying that Germany only produces 1% of the world's professional stand-up comedians, therefore Germans are not funny and are a threat to stand-up comedy. Do you see the problem there, sunshine? You now made another video since then, and you've started doing this thing, which is good, where you address your critics. However, you addressed them in a funny way almost. You addressed them in a way that felt very similar to me. You see, you've started making videos about Muslims and Islam, and you've received a lot of feedback from people, some good, some bad. Some of it goes a bit carried away, some of it doesn't. And your response to this has been, oh, everyone's just all scared to criticise Islam. You talk about Islam and everyone calls you a bigot and a racist. Well, what? Does that sound familiar to anyone? Does that sound like another YouTube user who received a lot of criticism for certain videos he made about Islam? And he responded by basically saying that, isn't it, that everyone else was just calling him politically correct and was just calling... Doesn't that sound familiar to anyone? Do you want to go down that road, Thunderfoot? If you do, it's your choice, mate. I don't give a fuck. It's just another person for me to make videos to. I don't really care. It's your fucking reputation to ruin and your life to fucking lead, mate. Right? But you want to go down that road, it's a fucking shame, quite frankly. Thirdly, next point. There is a reason, Thunderfoot, that you're getting more criticism for your videos on Islam than you did than your videos on creationists. One, creationism is not a religion in and of itself. It's a segment of a religion. It's an extremist part of a religion. This is what I found really annoying about the people who are trying to compare the Muslims building the Park 51 Islamic Community Centre and the Westboro Baptist Church. You're comparing an entire religion, Islam, to the Westboro Baptist Church, which is a small, fundamentalist, extremist part of another religion, Christianity. It's like comparing all of Christians to the Taliban. It doesn't really fucking work, does it? Right? And what's the problem with you getting criticism, Thunderfoot? What does it matter? Do you want to fucking sit here and respond to the criticism? Or do you want to sit here and complain? Well, no one ever criticised me before. Why do we do that? Do you want to sit here and have an argument about why we're having a fucking argument in the first place? Right, do you want to do that? No. But then even that, side that, doesn't fucking matter, Thunderfoot. And even if you have mentioned something in a video before, right, here's a little tip for you. Fucking repeat yourself, mate. Because some of us may not have seen those videos. And you've made a lot of videos, and I don't think it's fair that you expect everyone to go fucking through all your videos to see points that you brought up. Well, I said this 18 months ago. Yeah, well, I don't give a fuck. Say it again. I repeat myself all the fucking time, because I'm doing it for the benefit of the people watching my videos who may not have fucking seen it. But that doesn't matter either. None of that fucking matters. What does matter is this, Thunderfoot. Your decision to, again, gloss over and be selective of the certain criticisms you've got, it's something that I'm not going to fucking blame you for, because it's very clever, Thunderfoot. Because what you did with your Real Threat of Islam video, you phrased it and worded it in a way that's very vague. You didn't put forward your own opinion. You just left us with this idea that you were basically pointing out that the people in the West, the Western civilized world, which you have compared to gods in the past, is threatened by the evil Islamic world, which you have compared to ants in the past. And this ethnic religious group is a threat to our civilization, and we need to de-Islamize them, or we need to reduce their number, and you were looking for a solution, right? That was a very clever thing for you to do, Thunderfoot, because all the people, and to all the people who've done this, all the people who have made videos going down the Nazi, genocide, eugenics route, shame on you. You fell for his little ploy. Because what I think Thunderfoot wanted to do was to make as many people think that as possible. And thereby doing that, he can then sit there in indignant rage. People are calling me a Nazi, and calling me Hitler, and claiming I want genocide, and want to perform eugenics, and I want to put all Muslims in a big fucking camp and set them on fire and dance around naked. No, Thunderfoot. Right? It's a very clever thing to do, Thunderfoot. You're a clever bloke. You're a scientist. I've seen you're a very good scientist. You get erections in public places. You've got fucking trousers flapping around your ankles so small that when you cross your legs I can see your fucking balls. Right? You are a scientist, and good for you. If it wasn't for you, I'd be sitting here in a pile of my own shit and sleeping in a hole that I dug in the ground with the arse bone of a fucking giraffe. Right? But given that you seem to like using statistics in your last video, let me use some statistics for you. This is some statistics that I've got here for you. I'll leave a link to this in the bar. From Thomson Reuters. Scienceblogs.com. It's a perfectly legitimate website, and they actually did a tally of the number of scientific papers produced by the world's countries from 1996 to 2006, right? And here's something interesting for you, Thunderfoot. In 1996 to 2006, America, which is largely a Christian country, I mean, most of the people there are Christian. It's part of what you would perceive. If the East is the Islamic world, then you'd have to say that it's the Christian world. You can call it secular all you want. Most of the people there are fucking Christian, right? That's the society you live in. United States of America produced 2,907,592 scientific papers. China, largely an atheist country, produced 422,993. 1/6. Atheist China. China, where religion is banned, where most people are fucking atheists. Therefore, a society that is predominantly Christian is 6 times more scientific than a society that's mostly atheist. And there's fucking, how many billions of people live in China compared to the few hundred million in America? So I think we better start embracing Christianity now. We better sell our atheism out, because clearly, however, this is another thing, Thunderfoot. I read in an article, which I'll link again in the herpes bar, according to this article from New Scientist, this is from February 2010. According to this article, it is predicted that if current trends continue in the production of scientific papers, that by 2015, China will have even matched or even exceeded America. Now, what do you think's a bigger threat, Thunderfoot, to the Western world, to America? China, a technologically advanced nation, or a bunch of sand-dwelling Arabs who have not got a pot to piss in and shit in their own fucking hands when they're not worshipping paedophile bearded fucking donkeys and, you know, in their holy book that tells them to blow people up? What do you think's more of a threat there, Thunderfoot? China? Yeah, because people who are more technologically advanced are actually going to be more of a threat, particularly when you owe them $2 trillion and they don't like you very fucking much, right? So at that point, you've then got a case where atheism is the threat. Or is it communism? Oh, it doesn't matter, because you're not basing it on politics, Thunderfoot, because all you ever see in this fucking world are religion and fucking science. That's all that exists for you. Politics has never brought into it. You never brought politics into it, so you can't bring it into it now. So atheism is what China is representing, right? Your fucking rules, you're going to have to stick by them. But that doesn't even matter either, because here's an even better bit I can bring up for you, Thunderfoot. According to that same article, listen to this, scientific output has grown 11 times faster than the world average and faster than any other country is Iran. Irania. Right? Iran is currently the fucking fastest growing country in terms of scientific output. It's 11 times fucking greater than any other country. How do they fucking do it? They've also just in Saudi Arabia, one of the kings down there has just funded a new university, which of course is archetypal of those fucking backward fuckers, isn't it? But it gets even better for you now, Thunderfoot, because are you ready for this bit? I'm going to read from another article. This is an article again, from New Scientist, from a different article, but I'm going to read it. This is called Islam's House of Wisdom Will Rise Again. Science Can Flourish in the Muslim World Today. The guy who was interviewed in this article, why did Arabic science go in decline? Some say it went into decline in the 11th century because Islam suddenly took a turn of orthodoxy and conservatism and became anti-scientific. There's also an argument that it went into decline in the Mongol invasion in the 13th century, which destroyed Baghdad, including the House of Wisdom. The truth is that the decline in the Arabic science happened much more slowly than people think. There are great scholars in the Islamic world, all the way up to and including the 15th century, which is a little bit fucking... What did you say? That Islam hasn't changed for 800 years? Right? Get this one. So do you think that there is an element of racism to suppression of Arabic science? In a sense, yes. It's tied in with modern-day Islamophobia and the idea that all Muslims have backwards attitudes to life. Where have I seen people do it? Anyway, from women to politics, and there's an additional tension because of fundamentalism and terrorism. So there is a natural tendency to think that surely these people could not really be more civilized and advanced than us. Do you know who that interview was, Thunderfoot? It was a guy called Jim Al-Khalili. He's the same guy who wrote the article that you linked in your fucking Real Threat to Islam video. Eat my stats. Richard Lee Coughlin, 616. Good night, may God be blessed.